Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today we are featuring this. This is the G.I. Joe Classified Series Heavy Artillery Roadblock action figure. It's figure number 28, and this is the Amazon exclusive. Alright, just to clarify a few things. Alright, so unfortunately, I wasn't lucky enough to pre-order this when Amazon made it available. So I had to go through a third-party seller to obtain this, and I just happened to find that third-party seller on Amazon. If I remember correctly, I did pay a markup on this. I believe I paid, I think, anywhere between $38 to $39, which is roughly twice the price the figure went for. I think initially the figure might have retailed for maybe like $19.99 or $22.99. But I caved in. I bought it. It's one of the holes in my collection that I was missing. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at Roadblock today. As you can see, this is the mailer it came in. Nice, solid packaging to protect the figure inside. And we're gonna take a look at this right now. Alright, I'm just trying to figure out what's the easiest way to open this. Okay, awesome. Alright, so this is the Amazon exclusive Roadblock. This is the iteration of Roadblock that people have wanted since the beginning. I believe the first version of Roadblock that Hasbro gave us in the classified series was based off, I think, more so Roadblock's second uniform, whereas this one is the OG uniform. I vividly remember getting the original figure as a child, and I enjoyed that figure a lot. It's a great looking package. The artwork looks phenomenal. I love this illustration a lot. I think it's really well done. I really wish they'd go with... there's a part of me that kind of wishes they would just stick with one artist for the package design so it'd be consistent across the board. It's kind of throwing me off that they gave Roadblock a helmet. I think the original toy did come with a helmet, but I'm just so used to seeing him bald. I do have an issue with the weapon they gave him. For me, I kind of wish they gave him that giant heavy artillery gun as opposed to this Gatling chain gun that's really popular, like in fiction and movies, video games, and comic books. But we'll go into that a little bit later. But for the most part, this is really the Roadblock people have been wanting. He has the camouflage tank top, the really dark burnt orange cargo pants, and it's a nice figure. On the side, we have an up-close image of the graphic that we got on the front. More of the same. We've seen this illustration before. And then here's his abilities and perks, and you can decipher these on the G.I. Joe website. And as I've stated previously, this is number 28 in the G.I. Joe Classified series. Alright, Roadblock, let's free you from your little cardboard prison. Alright, so first impressions of the figure while it's in the tray. I'm kind of conflicted. Alright, so for me personally, I didn't mind the version of Roadblock that they gave us initially. There's a part of me that actually really likes that costume a lot. Even though this costume was the one I grew up on, I didn't mind the much more, how would you say it? It's not necessarily sci-fi, but he's kind of wearing that tactical vest, and it's a much different look than this one. This looks like Roadblock, you know, if he just came out of like the pit and he was like ready to rumble right away, whereas the other one looks a little bit more formal, I guess. But this is the Roadblock that everyone loves and wants, and you know, I mean, I did want him to some extent too. Otherwise, I wouldn't be reviewing this video. But yeah, I'm just a little bit conflicted because as much as I love this costume, part of me is kind of disappointed that they didn't give us the same accessories that the original figure have. You know, the original figure, he had that backpack that plugged into the back, and you were able to remove like the cartridge. He came with that really long, heavy artillery cannon that mounted on a tripod. And for me, I loved that the accessory almost as much as the figure when I was a kid. I thought it was really cool. I thought it really embodied the spirit of the character. And it's not that I have nothing against this style of like weaponry, but this, in my opinion, this kind of like chain gun, Gatling gun, it's so played out nowadays that I just really wish they'd just, you know, kind of stick to like, you know, what made the figure work in the, you know, originally, and gave us that really, for me, it was an iconic weapon, because I remember there was a G.I. Joe comic book cover that had Roadblock wielding that giant heavy artillery gun, and that cover was so iconic that even Rob Liefeld, the comic book artist, borrowed and lifted that pose and used it, I think, for an issue of New Mutants. I want to say maybe it was issued, maybe like it was part of the there was a 2-part New Mutant story where Cable fought Wolverine, and I think Rob Liefeld lifted the G.I. Joe cover and used it for the second part. And I remember that was such an amazing image also. So for me, it's kind of bittersweet. It's sweet that I'm getting this figure, but at the same time, I really wish I got the original accessories. But for what this is, I'm going to try to judge this figure fairly, because, I mean, it does look like a really cool gun, and it's cool that they actually give you, like, the barrel for it over here, too. Alright, so let's take this guy out. Now, the figure is nice, right off the bat. I'm liking what I see here a lot. The sculpting is beautiful on his face. The helmet's throwing me off. I'm so used to seeing Roadblock without a helmet. The helmet is really, really detailed. Some nice sculpting went into this. Lots of clean cuts, hard lines. There's some stitching, some nice texture. There's some nice trim and seam lines. Really, really impressed with this. This is a helmet I would love to get more of, because it'd be nice to actually like use. At some point in time, I really hope they make an army builder figure for the Classified series line, and it'd be nice if that army builder had like maybe an accessory pack. So you know, I could totally see this helmet being reused multiple times for different characters, and even just like, you know, grunt characters. Nice figure, really nice figure here. Very impressed with what I'm handling so far. There's a lot of reuse in a lot of these G.I. Joe Classified series figures, and we'll compare this with the previous versions of Roadblock. But looking past the reuse, it's the paint application's clean. The camouflage job on his shirt, it's kind of subtle. I would have appreciated a little bit more contrast between the different shades of green. But it's all right. I mean, I don't have that much of a problem with it. I do think it's nice, and I do like the fact that they're sticking with the more traditional camouflage as opposed to like the digital camouflage that was very prevalent in the early 2000s. Nice harness and straps here. He has the pouches. It looks like he might have like flash grenades. An additional pouch. He has a holster here for his sidearm. The boots, we've seen these before, reused. Yeah, so I really like the fact that they kept this color scheme true to the original. You know, there's that burnt orange pants. You know, this is a Roadblock. You know, you look at this guy, and without without mistake, this is definitely, you know, first version Roadblock. As for myself, I'm more likely to take the helmet off. You know, for me, Roadblock's more iconic without the helmet. The helmet design, though, it's very futuristic looking. Kind of reminds me of the Colonial Marines helmets that they wore in the movie Aliens. Looks great. Let's take a look at some of the other accessories that he came with. Alright, so he has his pistol. He has the giant gun here. And then here's the ammo barrel for it. Pistol, I think we've seen this before. And then he has a holster. I always love it when they give you a functioning holster on an action figure. One of my big pet peeves is I hate it when they sculpt the holster onto the figure and there's already a gun sculpted in and it doesn't, you know, it's kind of pointless at that point. But this is nice, it's functional, and it's really stiff too. It's hard to get this in here. Yeah, this pistol is not falling out. So if you're worried about leaving it on here and losing it, you're not going to. It's a very, very tight, snug fit. It's not going to come off. Nice. All right, so I do have an issue with this kind of machine gun. It's like, for me, it's played out. I'm tired of seeing it like in every piece of fiction and video game and movies. I'm so attached to the original gun that they gave Roadblock with the original figure. And I'm sure in due time they might give us, you know, a re-release of this guy, a mass release version, and then they'll probably give him the proper backpack and weapon. But I guess for now this will have to do. It's sculpted really well. It seems like it could do with more detail. It's kind of bare bones in terms of the detail. It looks, I don't know, it looks kind of vanilla to me. It's nice though that they give us the this little barrel here for the ammo. I would have loved it if they actually gave us like so like Marvel Legends, they have a style of weapon like this also, but they even have like the giant belt feed with all the bullets on it. I believe like characters, I think like the Punisher got that, Deathlock, I think the X-Force Deathlock character had that weapon. And so there's a slot here, a long tab here, and you just slide it in like so. I'm not sure if I'm doing correctly, if it goes one way or the other. Or I take it back, it only goes in one way. So you want the shorter end here facing forward and the longer end facing back. And it just slides in. Alright, so since this figure is like highly articulated, you should be able to get it in some decent poses with this. And you'll know which way is right side up. The ammo is on the bottom. You see the trigger up here. His hand, it's not very pliable, so it's going to be kind of a rough fit trying to get this on. And let's see if we... Yeah, you get some nice poses with this. Again, his fingers are very stiff. It's hard to... Alright, I'm having issues here. Trying to get his thumb out. Alright, just bear with me. This is not working. Try this. Oh, his thumb does not want to cooperate. Just give me a moment. Right, there we go. Yeah, so you could get him in some nice poses with this. As much as I dislike this weapon, it does serve for some great poses with the character. In terms of the articulation of the figure, it's nothing new. You know, if you've handled Gung Ho, if you've handled the previous Roadblocks, it's very much in line with those figures. Because I think it's practically the same figure with a couple of different. I think with the exception of the accessories and the paint application. Yeah, so I mean, this looks great on him. Does it stand well? I can't get him to stand properly. All right, yeah, he can stand with it. So it's balanced well. It looks great on him. I'll give it that. But I would have preferred it if they did give us like the belt feed with all the bullets on it, as opposed to the giant barrel. Yeah, wonderful figure. It's I'm still on the fence that I'm like kicking myself that I didn't get the pre-order in initially, because it does bother me that I did pay a premium for this guy. If I could have gotten away paying the actual retail price, I think I would have loved this figure even more. But it's solid. It's a very solid Roadblock. It's the Roadblock everyone kind of wanted in the first place. And his thumb is not cooperating. Get out, get out. All right, there we go. All right, in terms of articulation, his head rotates. Separate neck piece, as you can see here. So it does have a lot of range of motion. I love the fact that this guy could look incredibly high. There's figures that are Marvel Legends or even like the DC stuff with superheroes who are supposed to fly and they can't get their head this far back. So this is great. Love that articulation. He has a butterfly joint. And again, one of my pet peeves about the butterfly joint, sometimes I feel it's almost unnecessary. It's unnecessary if it's not going to give you that really far extra range of motion. Like here, it's nice that we have a butterfly joint, but realistically, it's not doing a whole lot. It's not affording us that much more range of movement, especially since their arms kind of go pretty far as it is. But it's nice that it's there, but I just kind of wish they'd put more thought into it. He has an ab crunch. He can crunch pretty far forward. He can arch back really far, which is nice. Arms rotate. He has a bicep cut. They go out. You can see double pins on his elbows. Wrist articulation. Yeah, this is essentially the same as the other Roadblock figures. Waist swivel. He has that rubber diaper right here. Thigh cut. Double pin knees. Boot swivel. Ankle articulation. So yeah, very solid. Now, if I had to rate this guy numerically on a scale of 1 to 10, easy 8. Easy 8 to a low 9, in my opinion. What would it make it for me, anyways? Like I said, it'd be perfect if he had the right accessories. I really was hoping for that OG gun, but we didn't get it. But yeah, for the most part, this is gonna if you wanted the this version of Roadblock to begin with, you are gonna be very happy. It's it's practically almost flawless in my opinion. And since we're on the subject of Roadblock, let's take a look at the other versions of Roadblock we got. So here was the first release that they gave us. This was based off of, I think, more so his version 2 uniform. And then we got this Roadblock. This was the Cobra Island Roadblock. And I know some people said that they should have just made this character heavy duty. I didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of cool. It's kind of a cool modern interpretation of the character. He has the much longer, like, contractor kind of beard. He looks like the late MMA fighter Kimbo Slice, if you're familiar with the world of like MMA and UFC. So yeah, I didn't mind this costume. I thought this one looked really cool. And for the hell of it, we're going to bring out another action figure that shares the same body and mold. We have Gung Ho over here. And this guy looks more like Chuck Liddell, the UFC fighter, or former UFC fighter. So across the board, all these characters share the same bodies. If you look here, all their boots are identical. The only thing different, the paint scheme. They all share the same fatigues. Pants are all the same cargo pants. Same knee guard. No, I take it back. These two have knee guards on the left knees, whereas these two characters don't have them. So the knee guard is exclusive to these two figures. Torso-wise, this guy might actually have a new sculpt, actually. Because, yeah, this one has the tank top, and the tank top's not just painted on, it's actually sculpted on. You see the folds of the cloth, and you can actually feel the relief of it. And there's actually a nice micro texture here also. If the light's catching it, yeah, you can see a nice micro texture on his tank top. I don't think this guy had anything going underneath. It might have been bare. I don't. Yeah, this guy might have been bare chested. I believe their arms are all the same. Yeah, all the same molds on the arms. The gloves look to be identical in all the figures. Yeah, so just a lot of reuse all around. I can't remember if these guys had holster straps. I might have taken them off and swapped them onto another character. But I believe this might be a new holster strap, because I think Gung Ho, he just had this with the grenades, whereas this guy has the actual real holster. Gung Ho and second version Roadblock, they kind of have that gauntlet on the one side. I think it's like a communicator or something. One thing this figure did away with, which I know was kind of a nuisance for like the fan community, is that a lot of people didn't like the gold and the red and like the neon blue that like some of the first release figures had, like Duke and Scarlet and this version of Roadblock. As I've stated before in previous videos, I didn't mind it too much. You know, I know it bothered a lot of people, and Hasbro went back and gave us the repaints where they lost this color scheme and gave us more neutral colors. But, you know, if you're going to argue accuracy, you know, these figures aren't very accurate to begin with in some regards. So it didn't really bother me too much. And I think this was also reflective of their appearance in the video game. I think the video game had these same uniforms. So, yeah, I mean, you have 3 different roadblocks. You have a roadblock for different seasons, I guess. You know, it's personal preference. I do feel like most fans, this is the roadblock of their choice. For me, it's like I said, I didn't have an issue with this one. I like this costume a lot. Am I happy to have this? I really am. I just kind of wish I had the OG weapon to go along with it. The one thing I do like about these figures is that if you're a customizer, you know, since these figures all share similar bodies and accessories, you know, the sky's the limit in really terms of creating new custom characters and figures. You know, even if you wanted to create a different color scheme for this roadblock, it's very easy to do. You know, dump this guy in boiling water. You can swap out his pants, you know, remove this rubbery diaper thing and swap on Gung Ho's, give him Gung Ho's legs, and all of a sudden you have an all green version of Roadblock. You know, likewise, if you want to give him these pants or these pants, go ahead. You know, you can swap the different heads, because I'm pretty sure the flesh tones are a close match to each other. This one seems a little bit glossier. This finish is a little bit more matte. But I think they're kind of all within the same color range in terms of their flesh tone. In terms of appearance, I think this one holds a little bit closer to what most people see as Roadblock. This Roadblock definitely looks a lot younger. He doesn't have as many wrinkles or lines in his face as this one. This one's different across the board. You know, it's like I said, a lot of people kind of wish they just relabeled this guy as heavy duty. So yeah, we have some excellent figures coming out of Hasbro. So if you're lucky enough to get your pre-order in and get the exclusive Roadblock, you know, good for you. It's a great figure. If you're like me and you missed out on the pre-order, you know, just shop around, find a decent price for them. You know, it's like I mentioned, I paid, I think, anywhere between $38 to like $39 on Amazon. And I remember at the time I was also looking for them on eBay, and that was roughly around the same price that it was going for on eBay. I'm not sure if the price has dropped at all since then, so you might want to give that a look-see. Oh yeah, so otherwise, you know, great character. He's a very much beloved character in the franchise. I think he's awesome. And I don't want to sound like I'm a hater. You know, it's like I said, I was happy with this version, and I am really stoked to have this figure. It's just, for me, it's just a thorn in my side that they didn't give us the original gun, because I remember as a child, you know, I thought that was such an amazing accessory. You know, he had a cool backpack, which kind of like had a compartment that you could take off. It came with this cool like giant gun with like a tripod. You know, everything about it, you know, labeled this character to me as badass. Like, this is definitely a badass thing, and it does bring Roadblock more into like, you know, the modern era. But I don't know, I was just so fond of that weapon. It was really cool. So yeah, lots of G.I. Joe figures. You know, right now, you know, trying to complete the collection is very doable. You know, there are only so many waves into it right now. The hard thing is, you know, with exclusives like Cobra Island, I know those are difficult to come by, but in terms of amassing, you know, all the figures right now, it's very easy. I mean, that's easy, but the fact that right now, you know, there's only been so many waves and so many characters, it's very doable if you want a complete collection. You know, just be prepared to pay the prices. You know, some of these figures go for a lot. So let's wrap this video up. Once again, my name is Lou. I hope you found this video insightful. Again, great figure. You know, get him. He's awesome. Complete your Joe collection. So until the next video, take care of yourself. Be safe. Buy lots of toys. And most importantly, be happy. Okay, so until the next one.